why you don't get what you want. And you might say, this is a very obvious question. I'm getting there. Sooner or later I will get there. But I'm sure you have already observed in your life that sometimes you do the work, you push, you work harder and harder. The process is even more stressful, and still you don't get what you want. Especially when you look also around and you see others that somehow they get what they want in an easier manner, with less stress, and at the same time, you also might say, I'm doing so much work. Am I the fool here? Because how have you managed to get whatever you want to get faster and easier? And who am I? Maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe my past, maybe my future, maybe my vision, maybe my mission, maybe my talents are not the same, or I'm not so talented, or I'm not so good enough. So let's admit, each of us sometimes pass through these phases, and these thoughts crosses our minds, and they leave some traces there, and they're throwing out the seeds, and those seeds starts to grow, and then this full forest starts to grow within ourselves. That's telling us that we are not good enough and we have to work even harder. And that's true sometimes, because the answer to this question, there are two different answers. One is work harder, be patient, and you'll get there. Is that true? That's true. But there is also another answer to the same question. There are others who, when they realize that they come through the same train station again and again, they say, wait a second, probably I'm missing something. It's not something that I don't have, something that I am, it's within me, but I'm not aware of it. And they take things a little bit deeper. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to take things a little bit deeper. So I want that you bring with yourself a little bit of focus, a little bit of energy, because this is going to be a masterclass, and we're going to mix the speaking with the thinking, with reflecting, and also I'm going to draw some things together. I'm going to have some questions for you so that you might answer and find the second type of answer within yourself, so that this process between where you are, between what you have and what you want to have, or who you want to become, becomes clearer, and also has a little bit more a strategic aspect, not just moving forward like a ball. Because I remember in my life when the energy is high, when your life seems to be so long, you say, I have enough time, I have enough energy, and you don't really think about being a little bit more strategic. You don't think so much about inner things. You think more about others. You think more about achieving things, about ambition, so that you look good, and also that you diligently do the work. Because we have those thoughts in our heads, let's admit, everyone goes through those moments when we start to think that something's wrong with us, or maybe we don't have enough talents, or maybe it's something wrong with our past, or with the circumstances that we're in, or we don't have a great vision or mission, and others are much better at it. And those thoughts start to leave sometimes some traces in our minds, and those seeds start to grow. And when those seeds start to grow, that forest starts to cover that beauty, that grace, that inner power that we have to focus and develop and to work on. So we have to mix the visible with the invisible, the divine with the physical, the spiritual with the intellectual. This is the human experience. And some people go too much in one extreme, others go too much in the other extreme, but you are a wisdom master. And if you're still watching this video, probably have touched a chord, something that you have been already aware of. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to find this line between the one extreme and the other. How can we look a little bit deeper? How can we see things not at the surface, but let's look deeper within us. We have a soul, we have a spirit within, then we have a mind. if we mix them well together, then we can access our higher minds. Maybe you've heard about it. So it might seem a little bit complicated right now for you what I'm speaking about, but will be much clearer during this masterclass. So as I said, I hope that you are empowered, that you're ready to answer, to participate, so that you can find that answer, as the title goes for this video, so that you can find that answer within you. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's dive in. Well, let's look at it this way. You have some ideas, you have some goals, all right? And that's what we see on the surface. When somebody asks you, like, what's your goal? Where are you going? What do you want to achieve? You have some goals, you have some ideas. But they are not useful enough if there is not the next stage, which is a plan. You might say a plan is a plan, but action is more important. They both are important. They both are important. And this is the second stage. We start to grow, we start to nurture those ideas, those goals, and we start to put them together, and we start to have a plan, and we start to act upon these goals, these ideas. But what is even more attractive, what stands after it. We have a desire, like I want to, and of course, the results of your action. Because you have an idea of how to make a plan, so that this plan is going to bring you the desire. And for some of us, these things are very clear. But for others, these three stages are not well defined. And some people live in their ideas and their goals, but they cannot put them together to have a plan. And that's very important. But still, we are now on the surface level. So we will go deeper. All right. So it's important that from ideas, we get to a plan. From a plan, we get to the desire. But it's all theory. It's visible. It's on the surface. It's visible because we can express them in words. So we can create an image. So it's relatively visible, but it's not something that's hidden. It's not something that can't be easily expressed through words. At the same time, your goals are indicating towards actions. We're going to have a list of actions that are going to be part of your plan. And that's what brings us the results. Most people know only this. And they think that all we need is 1, is 2, and 3. So you might say, that's amazing. If you have clear ideas, if you have goals, how many times you hear this? Like, you gotta have goals, and that's important. I'm not saying that's not important, but the mission of this masterclass is to take things a little bit deeper and find the roots of these things, and to see what nurtures these values, these steps. All right. So what is below? What is below these ideas, goals, plan, and actions, and desires and results? Because sometimes we might act so much. We act, but something's missing. Have you experienced this? Have you experienced working? It seems that you get nowhere. And it is true that sometimes we get it. But something happens. Something happens while we're acting. We don't repeat the same action. We change. Now let's look deeper at what is below these things. In order to have ideas and goals, you have to admit that you have something within you, which is a very abstract thing for some. For others, is the most important thing. That's energy. If you don't have energy, then you cannot even spend time and energy on figuring out what ideas I might have, what goals I do have. You can't, because you don't have energy. Let's look a little bit deeper. What kind of energy? Because there is one more element that we're going to discuss. But let's look at the energy. What kind of energy do we have? We have intellectual energy. energy. We have physical energy. All right, that's important. If we don't know how to take care of our physical energy, then we miss energy. And if you don't have energy, you don't have resources. Resources. That's what you need. You need resources. If you want to build something, you've got to know what that thing is made of. You need some stones, you need some material, you need some resources. If you don't have money, perhaps, or you don't have stones, you don't have things of how to build, then hardly you can be very creative about what kind of house you want to build, because you don't know what resources do you need. And when you know what resources do you need, then you start thinking about where from can you get those resources. And in this case, your energy is within you. And you might say, well, I know all these things. How are these things connected to why do I don't get what I want to get? You'll get there very soon. Now, we have physical energy and we have also spiritual energy. Have you known this? Maybe you didn't know this. We have spiritual energy and we also have sexual energy. Oh, things got hot now. Now, what is this sexual energy has with my goals in life? How is this connected to the reason that I don't get what I want to get? Like, what's the point? We will get there. We just want to look a little bit deeper. What is below the surface? All right. Now, what about the plan and action? We can build a plan. You can build a plan if you have a mission. If, for example, you want to go and buy something, if you want to go and visit another town, you can't build a plan if you don't know what's the mission. I'm going on this mission because I want to get that something done. I want to get closer to someone. I want to bring someone. I want to pick up someone. So then you start to build a plan. Okay, I'm going to leave in an hour. This is how long is going to be the driving time. That's how much gas or oil, whatever you put in your car, or electricity you need in order to get there. So you start to build a plan. When you have a mission, if you don't have a mission, you hardly can have a plan. So I'm already throwing out some ideas and points here that if you don't know what is the mission of your talents, of your resources, what you want to accomplish, hardly you can change your plan, or you become so attached to your plan that you can't change it because you fell in love with your plan. And now when it's time to change it, to become a little more strategic, you don't want to change it. You feel scared because, no, I know what I'm doing, but you don't know what you're doing. We all go through those moments when we don't know what we're doing, but we say we know what we're doing. All right. So mission, very important. And meaning, it's an even more important thing. If it's not meaningful to you, for how long can you keep doing what you're doing? Not for too long. You can do it, but if you don't find meaning in what you're doing, you feel like you're a tool in somebody else's hands, or you're just building somebody else's life, and it's not you, and it's not meaningful to you. And if these things are not in order, if these things are not clear, you might be wandering like me in the bushes in the dark, trying to guess things, trying to listen to others, and then you look too much around, and then you start even to doubt yourself, to doubt your talents, your resources, and everything else. But everything you need is already within. I'm going to prove that to you. And hopefully that you will see that too within. That's my promise through the title that I made for this video, right? And what else is the strategy? It's also a more hidden thing. The strategy, the meaning, and mission are the three cornerstones of your actions and goals. And sometimes we need, now let me change the color, we look for motivation, we look for inspiration, we look for so many things here in order to act, and discipline, and so many other things. Do you know why? I'm going to make a bold statement. When you don't really see meaning in what you're doing and why you do what you do, You'll always need to put something on the fire so you can keep going on, because you're almost suffering. And it's a sad picture when I see talented people around, great people, working so much, but at the same time suffering because they don't see themselves enough. And the more they don't see themselves enough, the more they believe that they have to prove to themselves that I'm worthy of my desire. And by being in that state, you become like a machine, and comes a moment when you start wondering, what's the point of all of this? Sometimes I speak to people that have achieved great things. Some are in the middle, some are at the beginning, others have already achieved great things. And the same question arises. What's the point then? Because there was lacking the meaning. Why is it meaningful to me? There's a huge difference between meaning and, let's move to the next one. And let's change the color. And purpose. It's an even more important thing. Purpose. What is the purpose? What for? And it's connected to your why. Now, you might say, okay, I still can't put things together. I'm a little bit puzzled. What's the point in knowing all of these things? In a very little. But you first want to understand these things. That what is below your plan and action is your mission, your meaning, and your strategy. In other words, this is a part of the why. Your why do you do what you do? What's the point in working so hard? You gotta answer this question, because the more you run away from this question, the more it's gonna bite you from the underwater while you're swimming, and it's gonna chop your leg, and you're gonna say, "Hey, where am I? Who are you?" All right. So the why, or what for, it's also part of the plan and the action and the mission, but it's more also for the second one, the what for. What for? It's in both places. All right. So the next one is the purpose and the vision. If these things, which are below the visible, they're not here, they are below. They are the drive forces of everything you do on the surface. And if you don't know the answer to these parts, which are your resources, what is the talent? What is the biggest gift that you have? Are you using the best you've got? You see, many people look for how to increase my potential. How can I become a little bit more as a superhuman? How can I achieve my greatness, and how can I increase my potential? Well, the potential is already within you. My question to you is, do you use it wisely? Or, and let's go back a little bit. Here are the resources. Let's talk a little bit about these things. The energy you've got is all you've got, because every other element of who you are has been already placed within you. Some talent, some gifts, even life. Life was given to you already. You haven't been asked if you want to be born or not. Life was already given to you. Your directions, your talents, you already have got some DNA, some karma, some stories, some past, some things that through the generations reached you, or you have been placed in that moment. And many things have been already placed within you. But what you really can work with and have full access to and responsible, it's your gift, your freedom, your right and responsibility, is to manage this energy wisely. And what does it mean wisely? Your thoughts, look at the intellectual energy. Your thoughts, your activities, your sleep and your sport activities, your spiritual energy. What do you believe? Do you apply trust and faith through your work? Or you have lowered yourself at the animal level? An animal doesn't wonder, doesn't ask why. An animal just does, just wakes up in the morning and knows that, how is that quote going on? A lion wakes up and knows needs to catch up a gazelle, and a gazelle wakes up and knows that it needs to run faster than the other. That's a very animalistic theory for a divine, half-divine, superhuman being. Why do we have to lower ourselves to such a degree, considering ourselves as our fellow cousin animal? Don't you think that this is a huge downgrade of who we actually are? Think about it. When you find yourself running or using the only energy that you've got is the fear of not being caught up by something, or trying to reach something that you don't think you deserve, but that's the jungle. That's what everybody does. So if I don't run faster, I'm not gonna get where I want to get. Then the question is, can you get what you want through that mentality? Absolutely yes. Rare, painful, suffering, not being aware of your talents and gifts and suffering a lot, being very stressed. Yes, you can. Sometimes a life is not enough though. So take that in consideration, that you might achieve that in this life or not. The secret is not to forget that you are complete within. And the reason, the purpose which for you are here to achieve great things, the reason there is a desire burning in your gut, in your brain, in your heart, is to accomplish that cycle in your lifetime. It's not that you do something so that others will continue, but you've got enough things and resources in order to make things happen in your lifetime. Big or less big. It's not about how big they are. It's about living in your meaning and your purpose, using or acting upon your best resources, taking care of what you can care so that you can rise above. As one of my programs is entitled, is my premium program, Allow Yourself to Rise. Allow. It's not that you have to become a superhuman. You are already a superhuman. If you could have the right tools to dig them a little bit faster, so you don't spend years or a lifetime into working and getting just one step further. All right? So, what now? What should we do with this information? So, what I try to expose you to is that there are always two polarities between what is, not between, but is the visible and the invisible. That's the physical and that's the spiritual. There's the heart and there's the mind. There's the meaning, you find meaning in something, and there's the purpose. And usually the purpose is for somebody else, it's for a company, for a society, for the world, for the nature, for your family, for your kids, for somebody else. The purpose is greater than you. It's something that you put your life onto something so that you make life even more alive. You make this world even better. So the purpose, if we are humble enough to admit, is that everything we've got and everything is given to us is there for both, for us and for others, so that we can find meaning through whatever we do, and also to serve the world, because in the end you do something, the purpose is always for others. How much purpose can you put for yourself? What's the difference between you getting out of the shower this morning and the day you were born? You got up out of your mother's womb. What's the difference? There's no difference. Naked came, naked leave. With nothing came, with nothing leave. But you're gonna leave something behind you, and that's not you. So that's the purpose. The meaning is up to you. You can, and you almost must too, act upon what is meaningful to you, so that you don't need to be waking up in the morning and you have to push yourself and you have to nag yourself and you have to drag yourself to do whatever you do when it's meaningful to you. When you have also a strategy of how can I invest my resources better, which is your energy. And we're gonna spend a couple of minutes speaking about energy. That's where it begins. So when you act wisely upon your resources, then you start to build your house of wisdom. You can see probably on the video right there, on the frame of the video, the house of wisdom. ExploraSelf MBA, the highest house of wisdom. No, wisdom, and that's another one. Anyway, the house of wisdom is it's an element of the Hack Your Mind program, which you can access right in the description below. There is a link which you can access, and is the beginning. It costs $12 or $15, and it's a masterclass, well structured, well organized, that takes you from the surface, from the very easy understandable things, and in that masterclass, you'll start to learn how to look deeper. So it's not that I'm showing to you now something which is surface and just a little bit below the surface, but even deeper. And that's a tool. This is a skill of which we all have to be able to use and to know how to use it and what for. So you have to learn to look deeper. Otherwise, you'll always stay on the surface. And when you are on the surface, things are stressful or hard, and you wonder what's the meaning and the purpose. And the only answer you've got is to work more and more and more and more. And you never build your house of wisdom. What is the house of wisdom? The house of wisdom is the house which you start to build according to, hey, stay here, according to the principles, according to the laws, fundamental laws, universal laws, principles and secrets that are not really known. You might say, oh, another buzzword, secrets. Everything is secret. Yes, because the secret is not something that's unknown, is knowing how to use it and when. Because there is time to work and there is time to think, there is time to reflect, and there is time to be more strategic, there is time to push, and there is time to take a break. The proportion between these two polarities, there is not a written law. Each of us is made different. Each of us is good for something. Some of us are leaders. Some of us are good executors. Some of us are good creatives. Some of us are great speakers, and so on and so forth. So we need everybody. The world needs you since the day you were born. And it's sad to know that you are a spiritual human being, a superhuman with a great potential, and just running on this very animal level, fear, guilt, this level of consciousness. That's a long road, because sooner or later you will start to see things within. But the sooner you do it, the better. Why should we spend so many years when there is so much wisdom around us? So the house of wisdom is when you build upon laws, principles, and tools. So you start to integrate everything together. So you can start your own house of wisdom. It doesn't look like a house, but you've got the idea. Now, when you mix these three things together, let's take the house of wisdom away from here. All right, let go away. You can see the house of wisdom if you can access you can go or to masterclass to ExploraSelfMBA.com and you can see the all three programs. And the one that I'm mentioning now is the launching pad, is the hack your mind before it hacks you. It's you can download the slides with all the formulas, with all the secrets, all the tools and the strategies that I'm going to share with you, and you can download them. And also, some participants of the Hack Your Mind Before It Hacks You can have a one-on-one MBA session, coaching session with me personally if you are interested in. So it's not for all of the students of Hack Your Mind, but is for all of the students from the Inner Alchemy. That's another program, but you can get a look at ExploraSelfMBA.com and you can see there many other programs for self-discovery and self-mastery. Now, what happens when we look at these three domains, these three big domains? What do they indicate towards? What's the point into knowing them? You start to see some things as values. You'll start to ask yourself, what's valuable to me? What are my values? Because they are the railroads for the train. If you can call your life a train, then the values are the railroads on which this train moves. If you don't know your values, if you don't respect your values, then your train is all over the place. There's nowhere to go. It seems it wants to be free, but it's not free. And it seems that's free, but you are not. And you're acting upon, again, fear, strong desire, which is eating you within, and it's blurring your vision. It's blurring your wisdom. And you're on the surface, trying to push the envelope as hard as possible. What other things you might see after you start to squeeze or to put these three domains together? Life force. What is life force? Life force is when you become a wisdom master, you start to live upon the best resources that are given within your life. Sounds a little bit philosophical, but we haven't spent a couple of minutes about. Let's take a break a little bit and let's go backward. Let's look here at the sexual energy, spiritual energy, physical energy, intellectual energy. These three types of energy are those domains of energy which make your life juice, your physical soul. You know, like your life as the at the easiest way possible to be perceived. Like this kind of like, how alive am I? It's connected to these four types of energy. If your sexual energy is not focused, it's not directed towards another individual and one only, then you are all over the place because you're dispersing this energy. It goes through observing, through looking, through desiring. That's taking your focus away from what is meaningful to you. And what needs to be meaningful for us in terms of sexual energy is to know where my sexual energy goes. Is my sexual energy combining and creating a beautiful alchemy with another human being? Or is it all over the place? Now, you might choose. You might choose to do whatever you want. And absolutely, here is not about what should or must want to do or not to. But it's a layout of what is below the surface. So then you can choose for yourself. Your spiritual energy. Do you apply trust and faith towards through what you do? Spiritual energy. Or in other words, have you upgraded yourself? Or you're still at the animalistic level where the mind is all you've got and is playing games with you, this mind, and is telling you that you won't get there, and you're worrying and you're stressed and you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're not good enough. That's the mind playing games with you, according to some beliefs that are hidden in subconscious. Now, how to reach your subconscious is part of the most basic program, Hack Your Mind Before It Hacks You, which you can see in the description below the link. You can get a look at it. So, but what to get a look at it? Get access to it. It costs $15, 10 or 12. It's something that everyone, I almost believe, can afford. If you really can't afford, email me and I will be more than happy to offer that to you. It's a masterclass that will help you to begin, where to begin from if you're not familiarized with this dimension. So you don't get lost or overwhelmed, even maybe through this video, because I've been saying here a lot. I'm sure for some individuals this might be a lot, but hey, it's growth, challenge. We grow through challenge, right? So, and the physical energy, same thing. Where's your physical energy going? Do you take care of your physical energy? Do you take care of your body? And I'm not going to speak now about the body because you're gonna lose me here for days or hours, or if not weeks. And intellectual energy. You can create energy through your mind, and you can use and waste your life juice through your intellectual energy or channels of energy, thinking about everything when it's not the right thing to think. So these types of energy makes your whole human energy. And if you don't take care of these 4 types, if you don't know also your weaknesses and these 4 directions, you don't know what to be aware of. And maybe there is something that is taking all your energy away, and you might not even be aware of. And then, if your energy is not enough, then you don't have enough ideas. You can have set bolder goals, because you can't believe and understand, how can I set myself this goal if I'm barely moving from a day to another, or if I'm so stressed, like, well, how can I put this big goal for myself? I can't. Everything's so hard already, let alone to set some bolder goals in front of myself. Why? Because you're not aware of who you are. You're not aware of what makes you you. And every single time you're about to set a goal, you might say, oh, wait a second, I'll have to act upon it and have to work so much. I gotta be careful to set these kind of goals, which is true. Why? Because you don't know what's the meaning, or is it meaningful or not for you? What's the mission you are on? Not what for, but how are you investing your life? What do you want to accomplish? These things needs to be answered. You've got to know the answers to these questions. And if you don't know them, then everything is very complex and hard, and you might also feel puzzled. So let's go back to when we go through these domains, then we can see values, life force. You see who are you at the core, like what makes you you, your spiritual understanding and growth, energy, and also your drives. What is driving me? Not what I think, or I think it's supposed to drive me, but what am I actually driven by? What is actually driving me? Doesn't mean drive are very spiritual, very enlightened. Drives are very something that is right there, like pushing you forward and poking you every single day. Come on, move forward. Those drives and values, sometimes they're values, not moral values, but what do we value, are very connected. Because values, what are values? Values comes from three domains: what we didn't have, what we want to have; what we didn't have, but we would like to have; and what we didn't have but would like to have. And when there is a gap between, that's what becomes valuable to us. You didn't have a new car, that's a valuable thing for you. I want to have a new car. All right, it's good to know. It's good to know, right? These things, how they work. And these things together, these makes you or who you are at the core. Who you are. It's not a mystical question. It's not a philosophical question. It's not a... Oh, I'm not showing the whiteboard. So, the who you are in the middle, the spiritual drives, that's what I was drawing well. They were not on the screen. Values, life force, core, who are the core drives, what's driving you, what else? Spiritual, energy and growth. That is, these things together makes you, and you have to know who you are. Otherwise, you are interesting mixed colors here. You are on the surface. You're on the surface. Often you feel puzzled. You might also feel a little bit confused, and you might say, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm just gonna keep working as much as I can, and one day I will get there." Well, as I said, you might get there, but that might take so much time. And why shouldn't everyone get the right tools that might help you to know how to look deeper and to start to see things spiritually, so you can become a wisdom master that knows what is the inner alchemy. The inner alchemy is what the formulas that you discover and apply in order to make your life a beautiful mix and alchemy together. And there are not written rules. This is right, that's wrong, you should do this or you should do that. Everyone should find their path. But if you don't have the tools for this engineering, then everything seems good and everything seems bad. Because, I don't know, maybe not. And you go back to those forces which are very expensive. They cost you suffering and pain. That's why, as long as we stay on the surface, we don't get what we want. We get them, but so much later and at the cost that when we get there, we sometimes say, I don't think that I would do this again. Because it almost destroyed me. And then another half superficial quote comes in: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, it didn't kill you, but because those who are dead, they don't speak. So yeah, made stronger those who didn't die. That means that everyone is or needs or must. So it's true. Yeah, sometimes. Is this a life rule? Up to you. So in the Hack Your Mind, I'm going to show you a couple of... Hey, it's not this. What are you? It's a thing. All right. So yeah, it's changed. Then you can see that is it's about the four important aspects of our life. It's about impact, it's about wisdom, it's about leadership and potential. So how these four things together, these four cornerstones make us a better human, first for ourselves in our lives, so that we can also have a bigger impact. We can become better leaders to lead our families, our lives, our businesses, our companies, our mission in lives, so that we can express the potential that lies within. So you want maybe to remember these four cornerstones so that you can look in your life. What is my relationship with these four cornerstones, with my potential, my leadership skills? How am I leading my life? What is the impact for me and for others? Am I wise? Or am I just acting upon my, as I mentioned before, animalistic instinct, so that somehow I can move forward? And you don't want to forget that potential is a choice of how deep you are ready to look within. Leadership is a skill that everybody can learn, and impact is a duty. And wisdom is inevitable when you master these four. And when you master them, now you can increase your wealth. You can get a reading, or maybe you want to pause this video. I'm not going through, but you want to start to understand yourself. How can you produce more in both spiritual and physical? There's a very important element on which I want to put so much emphasis. We are both. It's not only or only. And the wisdom lies right within them. And while you go through the Hack Your Mind, you're going to understand how this program can help me to also to start to see better my subconscious mind. How can I look deeper? Because becoming the master of your mind is not for everyone, but it's exactly what you are capable for. And if you want to become capable of becoming a wisdom master, then now it's your time. It's your time to answer this call. And are you ready to start building your house of wisdom? Because this program is your gateway to a powerful life-changing journey. So you can get there also tools as how to find your 18 archetypes of wisdom, which is a tool that I have created for my clients in the last 12, 13 years of my experience, helping individuals to dig deeper, to understand themselves, and to allow that potential to rise. That is my mission. That's what was bringing so much life juice for me, helping others after and at the same time while I was succeeding and failing. And that's what made this story such a beautiful story. So you can also get a blueprint for personal growth, like what to focus on. What are the cornerstones that I always have to take in consideration? It's a masterclass that will give you also the access to download all the slides so you can maybe print them out. You can also have some wallpapers, maybe you want to download them, put them in your office or in your phone or in your book. So it's something that can always be in front of your eyes, and they're beautifully well made. You can see them when you go into the program on the page, ExploraSelfMBA.com. You can see that there. And this is just the first step, the Wisdom Master, the beginning. Because the next one is the Wisdom Master on Becoming, and the next one is a mentorship. The step 3 is a mentorship program. If you're interested, maybe you watch this video and now you're seriously intentional about your life, and now you are, hey, what's going on here? It's moving. All right. So is the third, as I was saying, the third program is a premium access. But so maybe you're watching this video and you are already sure that that's exactly what you want. Then feel free to go on ExploraSelfMBA.com and look at these 3 programs. But everything I've shared with you until to this moment is about the Wisdom Master at the beginning, is hack your mind before it hacks you. You can see it. This is the first step that you can take already right now. So before we end this video, let's go to everything we've worked until during this video, from the beginning. So let me show you what have we drawn together, me on this whiteboard and you in your imagination. So I know there's seems that Van Gogh got angry and started to pay Van Gogh. That's a huge all right. So the ideas and the goals is where you begin, the plan and the action, more lines, and the desire and the results. The reason we don't get what we want is because we don't look deeper. What is the situation with our energy, with our resources? How do we invest our resources? About the 4 types of energies, the mission and the meaning and the strategy. Are these 3 well defined for myself, so that I can start to organize my life in a purposeful, meaningful manner towards a great vision, achieving things and discovering constantly, updating the drives of who makes me, what makes you, you. So this is the end of this video. I wish you all the best. I wish that you start to see things within, you start to look below, as above, so below. You've probably heard about this, so that you can start to take seriously your spiritual growth, your emotional growth, your intellectual growth, and start achieving great things, and also to get what you want in a wise manner, because there is always a better way, a new way. And this moment is a call for you. Are you going to approach your work and life through the same lenses that you used to? Or are you going now to realize that there is another dimension? There's the soul dimension. And your mission is to put these two dimensions together. And then life just becomes amazing. And you also get much faster and easier what you want. When that started to happen in my life, I couldn't shut up anymore about that. And since then, that's what was also the mission of today's video. Share this with you. If that was useful and that was interesting for you, leave a comment in the section below. What exactly was what have you taken away from this video? Maybe one idea, maybe one word. Share it with someone that you think that needs and must watch this video, so that we together can make this life better. And we together can change the world, which starts from within. Wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.